Alright guys, welcome back to some more Everlasting Summer. I think this one's going to be a bit longer than normal because I'm going to try to knock out a whole day because this is just taking so long and it's so ridiculously long. So we'll see what I can do. Alright, so let's jump back in. I woke up with a hellish ringing inside my head. The ringing seemed to be coming from the depths of my consciousness. But after I came to my senses, I realized that the cause of this ringing is my alarm clock. Strange. Where did it come from? Why is it standing near my bed? It was 7:30 according to the clock. Olga Dmitrievna had already left, and there was nobody to force me to get to the lineup. Thus, I can sleep a bit more. I closed my eyes, but it seemed like my consciousness had already had its coffee and was ready for a long, productive day. I need to get up. I should plan my day out. After all, I need to at least find out something today. But still nothing came to my head. Fine, I need to wake up completely and wash myself. On my way to the washstands, I met Zanea. What got you up so early? Anything wrong with being up early? She looked at me as if I had insulted her. No, nothing. Just curious. None of your business. Gosh, Nea's very sympathetic even when she's in a good mood, but today she just looked furious. Isn't sympathetic. The cold water perked me up, the fog in my mind dissipated, and my thoughts started arranging themselves. Curiously, I started to worry about finding a good place in the canteen more than about finding answers. I brushed my teeth and was going to leave when a quiet sound wafted past my ears. It's probably a squirrel or some other animal. I heard another sound, this time a bit farther. I walked 10 meters along the path, searching for the source. Nobody. Just the morning forest. I returned to the washstands and saw Miku, who was looking for something in the grass. Noticing me, she smiled and jumped up to me. Oh, hello, good morning. I accidentally scattered my tooth powder, just trying to gather it all back up. The dewy grass didn't seem to be helping matters. Are you sure that's a good idea? Well, why? What else can I do? I don't have any more. It was the last I had. She pouted like a child who had just had her favorite toy taken from her. Here, I'll give you mine. I dug into my bag. No tooth powder there. Strange. Didn't I just put it there? I walked away for just a minute, and now it's gone. Listen, it looks like I have forgotten it. I didn't want to tell her that it had just gone missing. Knowing the sensitivity of this girl, it was safe to assume that vanishing household goods would impress her so much that her brain would reset itself in order to avoid overheating. Well, I'll be off. Yeah, cheers. Visit us. Visit me in the music club. Alone. I'm alone, still alone there. But Miku's voice faded in the freshness of the summer morning far behind me. Getting back to the leader's cabin, I took my cell phone and looked at the battery meter. Enough power for a day, maybe even less. Of course, it won't help me much in here, but still. Finding a charger in the 80s would mean inventing it. I was going to head for breakfast when somebody knocked at the door. It was Lena. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. I was taken aback a bit. The events of the previous day were still fresh in my memory, but I didn't really want to speak about them. You're probably looking for Olga Dmitrievna, aren't you? Well, no. Yes. Lena was her usual self, shy and easily embarrassed. The dance on the pier, now it seemed no more than a dream. She's not here, I'm sorry. Okay then. I'll go. Okay. When Lena left, I thought that I'd been too cold towards her, so I decided to be nicer on our next encounter. Still, regardless, the morning was shining and beautiful. The bright sun was shining over the space and time-displaced pioneer camp, Savyanuk, warming its residents and filling them with energy to spend the day productively. Or in my case, to waste it in futile efforts to find an explanation for everything happening here. There was an unusually large crowd near the canteen. Of course, there was no other place in the camp that pioneers loved as much as the canteen, but why were they all crowding on the porch? I came closer to find out what was going on. It looked like all the camp had gathered at the porch. There were all the familiar girls, Olga Dmitrievna and Electronic. They were having a lively discussion. I drew closer. Ah, Simon! Have you seen Shirk today? No, what's the matter? We haven't been able to find him since early morning. Disappearing pioneers. Well, that's something new. But he was with you yesterday. She was talking to Electronic. Yeah, he was. So you woke up this morning and he wasn't anywhere to be found? No. Why didn't you come to me immediately? Well, I thought that he got up earlier and went to wash up or something. Did he mention anything yesterday? Interjected Slavia. For example, that he was going somewhere, for instance? No. What exactly is so horrifying about that? It's only 9 a.m. He might have decided to go for a walk. You don't know Shirk. She looked over at me seriously. Well, no, I don't. But I didn't see anything suspicious in this situation. Okay, let's stop panicking. We'll find him. How could he miss breakfast? Yelena grinned. Exactly. Time to eat anyway. And the pioneers proceeded into the canteen. Yet again, I had no choice where to fit in. The only free place was at the table with Alisa and Yelena. Take a seat. Oh, that was Yelena. My bad. She pointed at the chair next to her. I sat down. Aren't you going to get your food? Good idea. I hadn't thought about that. Today's breakfast didn't look much different from yesterday's, but it looked more appetizing. Or maybe I was just very hungry. Or maybe I was just eager to finish it off as soon as possible to avoid yet another Yelena prank. Want to go to the beach with us today? When? Right after breakfast. Generally speaking, relaxation wasn't on my agenda today. But if I was going to spend my time thinking, why shouldn't I do it while getting a suntan? Sure, why not? Yeah, cool. She smiled nicely. I bet you're planning another prank. No, not at all. Yelena waved her hands at me. She sure is. Alyssa grinned. She's always like that. No way. I think she's right. Nobody believes me. Yelena took her tray of dirty dishes and stood up. Enjoy your meal, she said in such a way which left no doubt nothing good awaits me today at the beach. Me and Alyssa were left alone. Oh no. You know, I guess I shouldn't go with you after all. Why is that? Well, I've got something to do. And what exactly would that be? She looked in my eyes and I couldn't even find an appropriate excuse. I don't even have a swimsuit. Try mine. You think it'll fit me? Give it a try. I don't think it's worth the effort. Don't be a wimp. We'll find you some swimming trunks. Those words only added to my fear. Wait for me by the canteen. I'll be back soon. Okay. There's nothing wrong with waiting for her, is there? Finishing my breakfast, I left the building and sat on the stairs. Pioneers, all having their own business, hurried past me, one by one. No one stopped by me. No one even looked in my direction. It seemed they didn't consider me a stranger, but exactly the opposite. Just another teenager their age, their comrade, you could say. I caught myself thinking that I had started to consider this camp and its inhabitants with not as much caution as I had on the first day. Indeed, Alyssa was back in a couple of minutes. Ready? Ready for what? She gave me the trunks. Though you hardly could call them trunks. They looked like pink boxers decorated with butterflies and flowers. Actually, they were boxers. I'm almost afraid to ask, but where did you get these? Too scared to put them on? Well, you know, I have not the slightest intention of doing so. I appreciated her joke, but wasn't going to make myself a laughingstock. Put them on! she said roughly. Why don't you try them on instead of me? I think the color of this swimsuit would set off your eyes very nicely. Let's make a bet. I had no desire to accept her bets. No thanks. All right, you either go to the beach wearing them, or you swim naked. Weighing the pros and cons, even the second option seems better than the first. I'm not planning to go anywhere at all. Then I'll tell everyone that you left these trunks in my cabin. Why would I do that? How should I know? She burst into laughter. I didn't want to argue with Alisa, so I decided to go to the beach in the end, but not in those flamboyant trunks. Okay, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Don't be late. She ran off after saying that. Well, she's very friendly today. I don't trust it. I dragged my feet to the leader's cabin to get a towel and to hopefully find something like trunks. Olga Dmitrievna was waiting for me in the room. Simon, did you hear anything about Shurik? Same as half an hour ago. I walked to my bed and took a towel. Are you going somewhere? Yes, to the beach. Wait, do you have swimming trunks? You came here without any luggage, as I recall. Strange, that fact didn't seem to surprise her during our first encounter. No. So what will you wear? Good question. What? I don't know. Wait a minute. She walked to the wardrobe and unlocked a drawer. In a moment she had a pair of normal black trunks. Where did she get those? More importantly, why? Someone from the previous session might have forgotten them. Considering all the strange things in this camp, it wasn't really surprising to find men's swimming trunks in Olga Dmitrievna's room. She is the camp leader. Thanks. The trunks were just my size. Convenient. I got changed behind the cabin and went to the beach. A lot of pioneers had already gathered there, but I recognized only Alisa and Yelena. Come here! I walked over to them and sat on the sand. I see you found something better. She stared at my trunks and smirked. As you can see. Come on, let's swim! I don't want to. Maybe later. I was not a fan of swimming. Suit yourself. The girls ran into the water. Why did I come here? Why am I not out looking for answers? Should I care about it now? Sovyanuk seemed normal. Certainly a lot of strange things have happened to me during these 3.5 days, but not one of them taken separately seemed at all supernatural, especially since I didn't get any closer to finding so much as a clue. On the contrary, everything that has happened has only confused me more. What alternatives do I have? I won't get any truth from the local residents, though I doubt they even know it. Should I try to leave this place? But how far can I walk, considering that I don't even know where I am? Turns out that my only option is to wait. After some time, the girls came back. Yelena held something in her hands. Look! I looked up and saw a crayfish. Just a normal crayfish. Or crawfish. Yelena lay next to me and started to torment it. Oh, that poor crawfish. Leave the poor animal alone. Why? It's just a crayfish. So what? It has the right to live. I'll rip its claws off and ask the cook to boil it for dinner. As if we have nothing else to eat. I looked at Alisa. She seemed to be totally uninterested in Yelena's fun with the poor sea creature. Tell her. What's wrong? It's a crayfish. It deserves it. It looked like the girls missed their lessons on nature in primary school and lacked empathy for the environment. Give it. I snatched the crayfish off Yelena. Suit yourself. I was a little surprised she didn't resist. I looked into the eyes of the poor animal. They didn't express anything at all, but I thought that if it could speak, it would certainly be outraged. Maybe it would even go to the UN Convention of Human Rights. To tell the truth, I wasn't sure that would help. I took the crayfish to the river and set it free. Never mind, I'll catch more. There are plenty of them here, Yelena said. No doubt about it, I mumbled. Time passed and I was getting sleepy. I fell asleep. I don't remember what I was dreaming about, if I was dreaming at all, but I woke up when someone shook my shoulder. Olga Dmitrievna stood next to me. Did you come to swim too? I asked, still half asleep. No. It's almost time for lunch, and we still can't find Shurik, the leader said, standing before me in a wet swimsuit. And? I want you to look for him. It seems like I'm the only pioneer in this entire camp. I was sincerely outraged. Every time it was getting clearer that Olga Dmitrievna considered me her errand boy, to be used like a slave, or vice versa. If I came to you, then I want you to help me. Why exactly me? However, after giving it some thought, I decided to agree. After all, my shoulders and back got sunburned while I was sleeping, and searching for Shurik would let me get acquainted with unexplored locations of the camp. Okay. It was not exactly right to wander around wearing only swimming trunks, so I should get changed first. 10 minutes later, I stood outside Olga Dmitrievna's cabin, deciding where to go. Maybe Shurik decided to pick up some stones near the water. In the worst case, I'll find his corpse. But I'm sure it won't end up that way. I was crossing the square when somebody called out to me. Wait! Alisa came up and smiled. I immediately sensed a trap. Where are you going? I'm searching for Shurik. Olga Dmitrievna asked me to. And how is it? Exciting? She looked intently into my eyes and turned away awkwardly. Not really. But, a pioneer is missing. Surely you're not freaking out over such a minor thing. What do you mean? Only a few hours have passed. Maybe he's just lost track of time while having a walk. Certainly I'd had the same idea, but I wasn't telling her that. Yeah, that's true. But who knows what could have happened. Let me help you with it. With what? I got suspicious. With looking for Shurik. Oh. But I can do it. Oh, come on. She smiled at me, but there was something malevolent in that smile. Naturally, her smile was cute enough, but it really seemed to me like there was something behind it. Well, if you insist. Since I could not understand what's on her mind, I had no real reason to refuse. I see she went back to wearing her uniform the way she was the very first day. But before we go, I have to get one thing from home. Okay, I'll wait for you. You're actually serious about just standing there? Let's go. Okay. We approached Alisa's cabin. It would be just like all other cabins, if not for the Jolly Roger on the door. By the way, Yelena is my roommate. Okay. We entered the cabin. The complete chaos inside really reminded me of my old flat. Though why I thought of it as old... In general, I would imagine a girl's room differently. Snow white sheets, walls, floor, and ceiling shining spotless. But when you consider that the two most exemplary pioneers are living here, we just stood silently for some time. And what did you need to get? Huh? Seems like I interrupted Alisa's thinking. Yeah, it's not here actually. Wait here, I'll be back in a minute. She smiled and ran out. She seems really flaky today. I began to examine the room. I wouldn't say that there had been an explosion, it was just a decent mess. Well, at least by looking at all this mess created in one pioneer session, I can surely say that I'm not the messiest person in the world. The decoration of my apartment took years to complete it. I wasn't thinking about anything in particular. I was just looking around the room. Posters of Soviet artists, some books on the shelves, various household items. And then I realized that everything is wrong. Something will happen soon. Something bad. Why did Alisa leave me here all alone? There was something I had to discover. My gut told me that it's dangerous to stay here. I went to the door and tried to open it. Locked. What a surprise. How did she manage to quietly lock me in? I don't know what's on her mind, but I need to get out of here. I went to the window, opened it, and climbed out. Now I can go and take care of business, or I chose the second option and waited. What is the reason she had me locked up? I wanted to know what was happening, plus I really wanted to see Alyssa's face when she finds her room empty. I hid in the bushes next to the house and waited. After some time, I heard footsteps. Alisa and Olga Dmitrievna came to the house. "You'll see everything for yourself." She opened the door and went in. A few seconds later, she ran back out. Alyssa's face looked as if she'd just won the mouse-catching competition, but at the last moment found out that it's not a real Olympic sport. "So he just disappeared?" Olga Dmitrievna asked skeptically. I did the right thing by closing the window after myself. Oh no. I understand everything. I still don't know how to say that. Davshevskaya, I don't know. You and your roommate, every time the same thing. Haven't you had enough yet? But it's true. Really. One story after another. Simon in your cabin. Simon harassing you. Why do you keep lying? That's horrible. Alisa seemed really upset, and, to my surprise, was not trying to argue. On the one hand, it was funny to look at, but on the other, I felt a bit sorry for her. She deserves it, though. Our leader finally finished scolding her and left. Alisa was mad. She clenched her fists and trembled. Her face flushed. It seemed to me that she was going to explode. I sat in the bushes and laughed quietly. However, I was wondering what was on her mind, and I came out of my hiding place, not afraid of being beaten. "So what exactly did you want to show the leader?" "Me?" Alisa turned and looked at me with disbelief. After a moment, surprise turned to anger. You! What about me?" She calmed down a bit. "Because you're a loser." "And why is that?" "'Cause you're afraid to compete with me." "When?" "When we played cards." What a serious reason. "Yeah? Maybe I should apologize to you?" I asked sarcastically. "Screw you!" She went into the house, slamming the door. I wasn't angry at Alisa. In the end, I expected her to do something like this. Anyway, I got through it without consequences. I was very lucky. Her confusion and embarrassment just made my day. Chuckling, I left Alisa's cabin, which was about to become my death trap. I never even made it to the boathouse.